Then I can't see.
You can leave them on. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Cozy Mystery Mingle. So I'm here today with my good friend, Sandy, who writes as Emmie Lyn.
Hello, everybody.
So Sandy is in a colder temperature right now, and I'm in a warmer. It's like 70 degrees here. What is it there?
Actually, today is in the 30s, and we had snow at the beginning of the week, and it stayed in the 20s, so everything kind of got a little bit slick and icy, but it's melting a little bit today. Mm-hmm. So it's up and down. It's cloudy, though, so we haven't really had any sunshine all week.
So it's basically the same as here. 70 and 30.
70 and 30? Oh, yeah, almost the same.
So why don't we just start out? Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you picked the pen name Emmie Lyn.
Well, I really don't have a good reason why I picked that name. It just came to me when I needed a pen name. And I've been writing cozy mysteries for, I don't know, maybe 10 years. I'm not sure when I started. Mm-hmm. I just sat down and decided, well, my daughter had been writing cozy mysteries and she said, oh, you ought to give this a try. So I sat down, or I thought about it for a while, came up with an idea and sat down and started writing books. They were horrible. But over time, I feel like I have gotten better. You always get better the more you do something. And I just keep writing them because these characters live in my head and they have something to say. So.
All right, fun. And you have always been a cozy mystery writer? Did you write anything before that, like a different genre?
No, nothing. Always cozy mystery.
Okay. And that was on purpose. Like you just love that genre and that's why you chose it.
Well, I had never even heard of the genre, but once it was explained, oh, it's like Murder, She Wrote on TV. I always enjoyed that show. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I can do that. I don't have to write gore. I don't have to write romantic, sexy scenes. Right. It's just characters and setting and a fun mystery, hopefully.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they're all fun. So tell us we're here today to talk about Petals and a Poison from your Accidental Ghost Detective series. So this is number 6. So just tell us about this book and also talk about the rest of the series.
Well, without giving too much away, this Petals and a Poison takes place in an award-winning garden. And there's a banquet with the award being given after the banquet. So this is a ceremony. And the conflict starts right away because the other gardeners who came in second and third were not happy with who won the award and felt she didn't deserve it, felt she might have cheated, put the judge in a very difficult position, put her in the middle of these unhappy master gardeners. And that's how it starts. Mm-hmm. And it basically takes place in the garden for the whole book.
Okay. And so let's just talk about so that's different from books 1 through 5 because it was at a haunted house originally, right?
Well, the main character inherited a haunted house. Well, inherited a bed and breakfast from her grandmother, mm-hmm. who was a ghost. But they don't all necessarily take place in Moonlight Mansion. They all take place in the town of Frog Hollow. And they all take place in a different place. One of them was in a winery. Can't even remember where they all take place. But it's the same, the same characters. Each book adds, well, maybe not each book adds a new character, but over the course of the 6 books, a few new interesting characters have been added. This book is different from the others because the main character revealed her secrets to mm-hmm. her boyfriend, and there's a fun new character that shows up in the award-winning garden.
Okay, great. And so can readers pick up book number 6, Petals and a Poison, without reading 1 through 5?
They can. Every book is self-contained, but I feel like with all of these cozy mystery series, mine and other people's, it's easier if you start at the beginning because there's always a character development. And I try really hard to give a little bit of background in each book when I talk about a new character in case people haven't read the other books. But since I know the characters, I don't know if I always, give enough information for somebody jumping in. But yes, it's perfectly fine. There's no cliffhangers. The mystery is solved.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I think I was talking to another reader, and it's not that we need to read books out of order, but sometimes if you're getting them from the library, one might not be available, but you're like, oh, but I'm so excited to start the series.
Yes.
So that happens.
I've done that. And if I don't quite get something because I know I'm reading it out of order, I just figure, oh, well, it probably doesn't matter that much. Okay. So I guess it depends how much a particular reader has to know how everything works and, consecutively. Okay. So how fussy somebody is.
Right. Okay. So so this is book 6. It's a lot. Is this series done or just done for now? You might come back. Do you have any more planned?
This series is done for now. I'm jumping back to write 3 more books in one of my other series. I've had a few readers say, this isn't the last one, is it? And I said, well, it's the last one for now. I never know. I never say never. We'll see what happens. I've got to get these next 3 books written in the Little Dog Diner series and then see what's after that. I don't make plans for that far into the future. And I stick with one series. I can't jump back and forth because my brain just gets too confused with the characters.
Yeah. So same thing. And the locations and like the quirks in the town, right? Yeah. Right. So this is a paranormal. This is your first paranormal, right? You usually write contemporary with no magic.
Correct. Okay. Which I thought I would never write. But I think it's not a lot of paranormal. I mean, sure, there's a ghost and there's a witch and there's a talking dog. But I can get my head wrapped around those kinds of characters. And I really enjoyed it. And in a way, writing this paranormal series, in some respects, it's easier because of the magic. Things can happen that aren't going to happen in a contemporary. So it was definitely out of my comfort zone when I started, but it wasn't hard to move along in it.
Yeah, we talked about that. So the ghost, the dog, the witch, why not a vampire, a werewolf, right? There's so many different things you could do for magic. I don't know, the Loch Ness Monster. How did you end up with the ones you chose?
I think it's just because a ghost doesn't seem, I mean, not that I necessarily believe in ghosts or disbelieve in ghosts, but they seem like it's more of a possibility to me than a vampire or any of these other things. It's, people talk about haunted houses. So it just seems a little bit more or a little bit less paranormal. And the talking dog, I mean, that's just, who wouldn't want their pet to be able to talk to them? Yeah, sure. That's, made up and it's magic, but it's something that I think any pet lover could relate to, wanting to have that. And he's really been the star of the series. Maybe not from the first book, but yeah, that's the character that gets mentioned the most when I get feedback from readers. They love Dash. Yeah. Well,
on the cover, he's so cute. You're like, oh, I don't even have a dachshund. I've never thought about it. But then I saw your covers and I was like, maybe I need a dachshund, like a cute little hot dog, right? They're so adorable. I mean, is that why you picked one? You could have picked any breed.
Well, actually, I was asked to write this series. They were pre-made covers. So I had no control over the dog, but it didn't matter to me because I loved dogs. And, I did a little research on dachshunds and I thought, yeah, that's fine. This dog will work fine in the series. And I've had several readers that have dachshunds and they just think, oh, this is just, great that, the series is about a dachshund. He's just like my dog. And, they can really relate to that. But in a way, maybe it's easier that I didn't have to pick because it's hard to choose when you like all the dogs. I have to take a little break. My cat is deciding to be annoying because I'm busy.
Aw.
Okay. I don't know. He was bugging me before I came up to connect with you, and I tried to get him to go outside, but of course with the snow he didn't want to. He's trying to tell me something and I don't know what, but anyway.
And so you have a dog, right?
Not at the moment. I had to put my dog to sleep last year, so right, I don't have a dog right now. I just have a cat. My mom lives with me and she has a cat, and I have 2 stray cats outside barn cats that I feed. So.
And are you thinking about getting a little hot dog?
I've always liked big dogs, but I I've ended up with dogs that kind of just fall into my lap because they, they're rescue animals. So I've never gone out and said, oh, I want this kind of dog, and, go looking at a breeder. I do look at a lot of shelter sites and follow, what animals they have on their website. And they're also tempting. I don't know. I mean, what I'm going to do. I kept thinking maybe a dog would find me, and that makes it easy. But so far, there's no dog that has found me. So.
Yeah, it's funny because usually when you watch YouTube, all these people are finding all these stray animals, right? And taking them in. I don't know where they're coming from, but yeah, they should get the word out to other dogs. Like, this woman is looking for a stray dog. She will take you in. So
I know.
You just wander.
Well, there's stray cats. That still seems to be a problem where I live, but stray dogs don't really exist anymore. I think that in New England, there's a lot of shelters, and, people really do a good job with getting their animals spayed and neutered. So a lot of the shelters up here, the dogs actually come from the South. So it's just, there's not a lot of stray dogs roaming around here. And if there is a dog on the road, the town Facebook group will say, oh, does anybody own a husky? I just walked by my house, and somebody say, oh yeah, that's my dog. I'll come and get him. So if I see a dog on the road, it's probably got an owner.
Oh. So. All right. Well, let's go back to our magical talking dog, Dash. That's his name, right?
Yes.
And Dash is royalty, right? He's Prince Dasher Dangerdog Bean.
Yeah. And I wrote a little story about why he got that name in one of my newsletters. And the gist of it is that Dash was a runt in the litter. And the people that had the dachshund puppies looked at him and said, oh, this poor dog needs a really, fancy name because he's just a runt. And Dash understood all of this and didn't know what a runt was. He didn't know he was little. He thought he was big and handsome and everything else. And he thought that was a great name. So that's how we ended up with the names. It really isn't anything to do with royalty. It's just because he was a runt.
I mean, I like it.
And then they dumped him on the side of the road. And that's how book 1 starts, when the main character, Nikki, sees this little dog sitting in the road. And she says, well, I'll take him home and find the owner. And that's how the whole series starts.
I mean, he sounds like a dog with a healthy self-esteem.
He does. Yes.
That's good. So what kind of personality does he have?
He lives in the moment like all dogs do. And he has an excellent sense of smell, which makes him invaluable to Nikki when they're doing their amateur sleuthing. He can help her find clues and analyze clues. But he's also very easily distracted when it comes to food. He loves sausages, and, that's always frustrating for her because, constantly wants treats, and he won't do things sometimes unless she promises him a treat. I mean, he's just a typical dog, but he definitely has a big self-image of, of himself, and thinks highly of himself, but in a good way.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is minor, but because he's a talking dog, does she not need to put a leash on him because he just kind of listens and heals?
Well, that's interesting that you ask, because I think in one of this book, I don't think, but in one of the books, for some reason, he had to have a leash on, and he did not like that at all. I forget what he called it. He'll come. He also takes everything literally, which makes some of the conversations really funny. And I think they had to bribe him to put the leash on. Now I don't remember where they were going, but he had probably a purple leash or something. He likes purple, and he has a purple cape.
Oh, that's cute.
But normally it's free to run around and get into trouble. Not big trouble, but annoying other people.
That's cute. A dog with a favorite color. All right. So she has so Nikki, our main character, has another sidekick, the ghost, which is her grandmother, right?
Yes.
So are they close to each other, or how does that work? Yeah.
Well, Audrey, the grandmother, was actually the main character in the prequel to this series, which was part of which was a short story that was part of that Black Cat Crossing
right.
book that several authors wrote in. And that explains how she became a ghost. So anyway, when she died, she left her bed and breakfast to her granddaughter. Her granddaughter had always spent summers there with Audrey and was very close to her. And so when Nikki found out she inherited this bed and breakfast, she went to Frog Hollow and didn't really expect to stay. But one thing led to another, and she runs the bed and breakfast. And I think she also does it money-wise. She's fine because of money that Audrey left her. Of course, that always is helpful because she has to spend a lot of time solving crimes. So
right. She doesn't have time to work.
Right. So yeah. So Audrey is part of this ghost detective team. She's the one that really wanted to start it, and Nikki was like, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't know how to solve crimes, blah, blah, blah. But then somebody got murdered, and Nikki was the main suspect initially in the first book. So she kind of was forced into this crime solving role. And one thing led to another, and more of the characters were invited into the group. So there's a group of them that work together solving these crimes.
Is it like the Scooby Gang, where all her friends come together every time someone's killed?
Well, yeah, sort of, I guess. Yeah, they just hang out together all the time anyway. One of them is a hairdresser. She was the Nikki's best friend from when she would spend her summers there. And so she has a good access to the local gossip as a hairdresser. Plus she's, can talk to anybody and is very chatty, and people open up and tell her things. So she's a good character to have in there. And then there's Pearl, who comes in later, maybe she's been in each book, but she didn't have very much of a role until maybe book 3. And she has a special talent, which I'm not going to say just in case somebody hasn't read the books yet. So she becomes part of the group. But Nikki is the one that can understand Dash. Other people can't understand him. But if somebody is not, like a witch or somebody, they can understand them. But other people can't. So whatever Dash is yapping away, and Nikki knows what he's saying, the other people don't know.
So the grandmother, who's the ghost, can understand Dash.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
And then it's your boss. So does the grandmother, I guess, what's her personality? Is she she wants the ghost detective agency? Is she pushy? Is she loud, quiet?
I don't know. She's not loud. She's just a very strong female character. She's always kind of gotten what she's wanted through her whole life. And except for the dying part, because she was murdered. And she doesn't end up being as involved in the books as I expected her to, partly because she's a ghost, and it's hard sometimes for me to figure out how to get her in there. She comes and goes, which is a ghostly thing because she can be invisible. So that's her big talent, that she can be invisible and go where they can't go and eavesdrop. She can be the fly on the wall and hear things. But she gets frustrated at times because she can't participate in their delicious meals because she doesn't eat anymore. And so she misses that kind of stuff. I don't know. She's a more serious, I would say, in the group.
Okay. And is she able to leave the house? She's not bound to the haunted house.
She's not bound to the haunted house, but when they go someplace in the car, she travels in the car with them. But she hates it because Nikki has a convertible, and Audrey is always afraid she's going to blow out, which, so what? I mean, get caught in a tree or something. She has this fear of riding the car. So she kind of just sinks down on the floor and, complains all the time about not wanting to be in that vehicle. But so, yeah, she goes places with Nikki, and then she might just disappear. She'll say, well, this is what I'm planning to do, and if I find something, I'll be back and let you know what I found,
Right.
So she can come and go that way once they're to their location.
Okay. And is Audrey anything like your own grandmother?
No, I don't think so. No, my grandma, my two grandmas, one I was we visited a lot, but I was probably about 12 when she died, or 10. And she was just your typical nurturing grandmother. I wouldn't say at all that she was a strong, independent person like Audrey is. And my other grandmother might have been more like that, but we didn't really see her that much. But she always sent me books for holidays. So that's what I always associate with her. Now, I think I think Audrey is the kind of grandmother that I would like to be for my grandkids, to give them a good role model as a strong female, but fun, and doing things and being there for them, which is what Audrey's always there for Nikki. She always has Nikki's back, even if she's not disciplining her, but maybe not agreeing with her, or giving a different perspective. She's always got her back. So they do. So that's a great, Nikki can always count on Audrey to be there for her.
So is this like that TV show Ghost, where the ghost, where Audrey has to be entertained in between? Like, does she have to leave the TV on for her, or can Audrey like turn stuff on?
No, I don't watch much TV. I haven't watched that show, but no, Audrey is just part of the group. She doesn't need to be entertained. She can take care of herself if there's downtime and she's not needed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about the setting. So this is actually in Georgia, because the other series is up in Maine, and it's in Frog Hollow. Is that because, was this part of the Peach Plains Paranormal? Remember that had to be in Georgia. Is that why it's there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it like hot and humid there? Like, what kind of Frog Hollow's temperature and culture is there?
Well, yeah. I mean, Georgia, I had to, research the weather, and it's got mild winters in the northern part of Georgia. It could snow even, but no, I think it's pretty, mild year round, between 50 and 90, humid in the summer. And I think that's why I came up with the name Frog Hollow. I'm just imagining swampy, filled with frogs.
Yeah.
When I started the series. So yeah, I'm not real familiar with Georgia except for the research that I've done.
Okay. I mean, so when in the book for the setting for Frog Hollow, does the weather even, or the Southern culture really work into that, or no?
Probably not much, because I'm not real familiar with it. I don't know that you would really know that it's Georgia if I didn't say it was Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are each of the mysteries in the summertime, the fall, the winter? It doesn't matter. I guess they're year round. It's just warm there, right?
Right. So that is a difference between my other series, that there's more outdoor potential for activities. And well, you can do outdoor stuff in the winter too, but like gardening, or, things that you don't, that with the, with nicer weather. Yeah, there are seasons, but it's not as defined as where I live.
Oh, right. So there's gardening. So this is all set in a garden, and you're a gardener, right? You're always out in the yard.
That's right.
Gardening. What are you gardening? Are you doing flowers, vegetables, fruit?
I do mostly flowers. I do some vegetables, but it seems like my vegetable gardens always get taken over by flowers. It's just something I've been doing. I mean, before I started writing, I grew cut flowers as a business to supply to flower shops as a wholesaler.
I didn't know that. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. It is. It was way too much work. So yeah, I love flowers, but I also love vegetables, because I like to eat nice fresh vegetables. But it's just, flowers are prettier. So a little bit of both. I do have a little bit of a small strawberry patch. I have rhubarb. I don't have fruit trees. I used to, but it was too much to take care of, so I cut them all down. I used to have raspberries. I'd like to have raspberries again. Those are pretty easy, and blueberries, but for now it's just strawberries and rhubarb.
Okay. And then, so did you use a lot of your gardening expertise and skills into this book?
Well, this garden is an award-winning garden. I mean, something this big with so many different types of flowers, and it's got a pond and there's a gazebo. I mean, all that stuff is basically a full-time job. I mean, for more than one person. So it would be a garden I would love to have, but I never will have. But sure, just knowing what I know about flowers helped me kind of think about what elements might be nice to have in this garden.
So,
but I still had to do some research, especially because there's a poison. So, I have to figure out what poisonous plants are going to be in this garden.
Right. Petals and a poison. So if you won the lottery, which you don't even play, then this will be the garden that you will have.
Exactly. Yes. As long as I can hire people to do it. I'm getting too old to do all that physical work.
Well, in this dream scenario, you've won the lottery, so you have a whole staff.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Definitely. I would love to have a garden like this. I can see it in my head.
Yeah. Greenhouse and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your writing plans for 2024?
I have committed to write 3 more books in the Little Dog Diner series. So I've started book 7, and that's as far as I'm going for commitments, because I don't like to overwhelm myself with commitments, because then I just, I don't like the stress of that. And then my newsletter that I work on that I've been putting out every week. And I challenged myself this year to write a haiku every day. And so far I have, and I found it to be very cleansing in a way, because it's short. I get I get a topic, and doesn't take me very long to write it, but and it helps me be careful with my words. Okay. Because, you only need so many words per line. I think it's 575 syllables. So that's been kind of an interesting, I read someplace that somebody had started writing a haiku every day, and I thought, oh, I could do that. That's not too big of a commitment.
Yeah.
So as long as I remember, I have gotten one written, and I've remembered every day so far.
Yeah. So. It's nice to have some structure and rules around what you're writing instead of just a blank page where you can do anything.
Right. Exactly. And it is. It's been kind of fun. Like in the morning, okay, get that out of the way. And
are you sharing your haikus anywhere online?
Well, I do. I don't know if I put one in my newsletter every week, but I'm planning to add a link at some point that people can read them, probably month by month. So I've got January done, and now I have to decide how I'm going to add them to my newsletter.
All right. So so newsletter, where can readers find you?
What is my newsletter? Well, it's on Substack.
Right. But they can go to your website and sign up for it, right?
They can, yes. So Emmie Lyn Books, and they can sign up there. Yes. And Facebook. That's really, BookBub. Can follow me on BookBub or Amazon. But that's pretty much. I don't do Twitter or Instagram or any of those other things.
TikTok, right?
TikTok, yeah.
Right. And I'm so sorry. So there's some people here. Let me see. So we have Robbie. I finally made one. Yes. Hi. Hey, Tasha. Right. And Rose, I agree with the ghost and a talking dog. Come on, of course. Yes. Karen. They're all saying hi. Rose. I'm loving this animal rescue talk. He loves sausages. Yes. Sausages. Yes. Okay. Awesome. So it's time for a book giveaway. So do you want to pick a number between 1 and 7, Sandy?
Okay. Tell you the number or?
Yeah, tell me the number. Yeah, it's not a magic trick. 4. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's Karen. Yay. So Karen, I have your email. So we will send you the book number 6. It's an ebook. Karen, I love the idea of a daily haiku challenge. Yeah.
Great. Good. And if she already has the book, then I could gift one from a different series.
Yeah. So let me know, Karen. Just send me an email. She has my email.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Sandy, for being on today and for sharing information about your book.
Thank you, Lisa, for inviting me, and hello to everybody and goodbye to everybody and
Yeah.
happy reading.